Hey everybody, the Psycho 4 films of Anthony Perkins, the 4 films that he starred in, are definitely something I want to talk about today. So, let's start out with how I got introduced to these. It's a kind of a long story maybe. I'll make it short though. I remember seeing them as a kid, growing up. I grew up in the '80s. I was born in '84. So I remember watching the films on TV or on HBO Max or Max, Cinemax, whatever you want to call it, back in the day, back in the late '80s, and just watching them. And then you grew up in the '90s, then you're growing up in the '90s and stuff like that, and you watch these films over and over again from when you first saw them in the late '80s. Uh, I have to say, I love the setting. The setting out in the middle of nowhere. You got a road, but you got like the motel, and right behind the motel is the Bates house. Very, very cool. I've always loved that setting. I always love settings like this in horror films or suspense films where things are out in the middle of nowhere and you're out of touch with reality pretty much. And you probably wonder why I'm looking down here. I got it on my note right here to talk about it. So the four Psycho films that Anthony Perkins were in are very, very solid. I love them. There isn't a bad one out of the bunch. If you had to ask me which ones are my favorite, it would have to be Psycho 2 along with Psycho 4, which is the prequel sequel. Basically, Norman Bates is telling his whole life story through a radio studio that he calls in on. And they're doing a special that night on Matricide, what makes boys kill their mothers. So I thought that was a really good one. I first saw that. I first saw Psycho 4 on USA Up All Night. It was when Gilbert Gottfried was the late Gilbert Gottfried. He passed away not too long ago when he was hosting USA Up All Night back then. That's how I got introduced to Psycho 4. Didn't know there was a Psycho 4 at the beginning when until I found that out. But I mean, that was really, really cool. And you had Olivia Hussey, and this was 1990. And Olivia Hussey, who plays Norma Bates. I still say her portrayal of Norma Bates is the best one. I have not seen Bates Motel from start to finish to debate whether Vera Farmiga, I think that's how you say her name, that plays Norma Bates on the show, whether she was better than Olivia Hussey or not. But I've always loved Olivia Hussey as Norma Bates in Psycho 4. Of course, Olivia Hussey also did the 1990s made-for-TV Stephen King It with Tim Curry. I thought she was really good in that. She had a supporting role in that. But Psycho 2, I love. I mean, you got a young Meg Tilly in there. She is the older sister to Jennifer Tilly. Of course, you have Dennis France. You have Robert Loggia, who plays Norman's doctor. Of course, Anthony Perkins' performance in that is really, really cool. I just love it. I just love it as much. The third one was really good. I love the whole Dwayne Duke by Jeff Fahey. I love that character. The character was so interesting. The scene when they have a gang that comes there and they're there for like Fairview, the Fairview and Central game, and they're just partying out. I thought that was really cool. Stuff goes haywire, explaining that way. I won't spoil too much to it, but I thought that was really cool. The first one, the original from 1960, black and white. It'd be really interesting if they put that in color, they colorize it and stuff. It'd be really cool to see that in color. But I love that one just as much as too. But these films, I mean, you can go ahead and remake them, which they already had a remake of the original film of Vince Vaughn, and that was terrible. But yeah, the Anthony Perkins Psycho films are my favorite. If I had to go ahead and say what 3 horror movie franchises would you want to watch forever and leave out the rest of the horror films, it would be I would keep Friday the 13th, the Anthony Perkins Psycho films, and then the Scream franchise or Scream series. So You let me know, guys. What do you guys think of the Anthony Perkins Psycho films? Do you guys like them? I mean, to me, they're a real treat. I enjoy it, the suspense and stuff. Not a lot of blood in a lot of them. I mean, I think three had a little bit of the most blood, but I just like the story arc, the story build up, the characters, everything. So that is it.